So today I am going to explain Jujutsu Kaisen Chapter 144. In this chapter we will find out how to unseal Gojo Sensei and also learn about Kenjaku's plan. But before we begin, if you haven't watched Chapter 139 to 142 explanation, you really should check those first. Otherwise you won't understand what's happening here. You'll find the links in the description. Now let's start the chapter. At the beginning we see Megumi and Yuji Itadori together. Megumi explains that Noritoshi Kamo, Kenjaku, has already planned the Culling Game, where all sorcerers will be forced to fight against each other. And in this mess, Tsumiki, Megumi's sister, has also been dragged in. Now I know many of you will comment, who is Tsumiki? That's why I cleared it up beforehand. Megumi begs Yuji for help, saying, I need your strength. Hearing this, Yuji remembers his grandfather's words. You are a strong kid, so you must help others. Yuji also tells Yuta, Sukuna has plans involving Megumi. Sukuna was able to take control of my body in Shibuya only because I swallowed 10 fingers at once. I've already consumed 15 fingers in total. Even if I eat the last 5, Sukuna won't be able to fully control me again. But if Sukuna does manage to take over my body, don't hesitate. Kill me without thinking twice. Yuta responds firmly, I will do what I have to do. Yuji then asks Megumi, what should I do now? Megumi explains, first they must go to Master Tengen, they also need to locate Master Ganon, and they must discover a way to unseal Gojo Sensei, plus they must uncover Kenjaku's real intentions and his next moves. Megumi continues, saying that the Culling Game is the biggest act of terrorism ever seen in Jujutsu Kaisen, and it must be stopped. He believes Master Tengen holds the answers they need. Yuji then asks about Tsumiki again, and Megumi says, it was actually Tsumiki's idea to avoid attention by hiding inside Jujutsu High. She's been staying there because she wants to avoid the higher up. Yuta adds that Master Tengen's barrier is their biggest challenge, because outside the tomb, there are 1,000 gates that keep changing position. Only one correct gate leads directly to Master Tengen. Yuji replies, if we don't pick the right door, we won't be able to contact Master Tengen at all. Yuji then quietly apologizes to Megumi and asks about Nobara. Megumi stays silent. Yuji understands the truth from that silence. But just then, Choso appears behind Megumi. Megumi is shocked. Choso asks, so, what about the barrier? Yuta says, were you listening? Yuji asks, what do you mean, Choso? Choso explains, remember how Geto once freed Sukuna's finger in the death paintings? We can do the same. Just like Geto tracked cursed objects, I can track my brother's body parts. At this point, the scene shifts. The scene changes to a bunker where Yuji, Megumi, Yuta, and Choso enter. Inside, they find Maki and Tsumiki already there. Maki looks totally badass here. Because of her fight with Jogo, half her body was burned. Her scars make her look even cooler, almost like a warrior goddess. Yuji greets her. Maki-senpai. Maki smirks and replies, it hasn't been that long since we last met. Yuji also greets Tsumiki. Hi, Tsumiki. Yuta checks on Maki. Are you okay moving around like this? Tsumiki answers, these scars can't be healed, even with reverse curse technique. That's why she survived, because of her heavenly restriction. She explains further, Maki lived because of her heavenly restriction. But it was really tragic for the Zenin family. Their clan head was killed by Jogo. Maki then asks Megumi, what about Master Tengen's barrier? Before Megumi can respond, Choso cuts in. I'll explain. Between the gates and the tomb lies a warehouse where Jujutsu High stores cursed tools and cursed objects. That's where my brother's body parts are kept together. If they're in one place, I can track their cursed energy. Hearing this, Tsumiki says, that's a good idea. But then Maki interrupts again. Wait, who is this guy anyway? Referring to Choso. Everyone goes silent. They don't know how to explain that Choso was about to kill Yuji before. Suddenly Yuji says, think of him as my older brother. Choso is completely shocked because all this time Yuji had never once called him brother. Choso shouts, Yuji, with emotion. Yuji calmly says, let's move. The group reaches one of the gates. Choso points out, my brothers are inside here. When they open the gate, they find themselves in a jungle-like area. Tsumiki points out a lift. Let's take this down to the tomb. The group moves deeper inside, reaching another warehouse-like place. Yuji asks Choso, do you know this place? Choso nods. Yes. Don't worry, it won't take long. I'll be back soon. Inside the warehouse, Choso finds the remains of his brother's bodies. Meanwhile, the others continue moving. On the way, Yuji notices bloodstains on the ground. He asks, what happened here? Tsumiki explains, this happened 11 years ago, and honestly, I feel like this is where everything began. She reveals that this is the very place where Toji and Geto fought. Then she says, the main shrine is right ahead. They move forward, but when they arrive, it looks like nothing is there. Yuji says, there's nothing here. Megumi also wonders, is this really the shrine? Tsumiki explains, it's not that that there's nothing here. This place is rejecting us. But in her heart, she thinks, no, it's not rejecting all of us. It's rejecting only me. Megumi realizes Tsumiki doesn't have much time left. Yuta says we should head back, but just as they turn to leave, a voice suddenly calls out from behind them. Leaving already? Isn't that a little too soon? They turn around to see a mysterious creature standing there. It says, I'm glad to finally meet you, and this creature seems to already know them. The chapter ends here on this shocking cliffhanger. So that's it for today's explanation of Jujutsu Kaisen, chapter 144. If I also explain the next chapter right now, this video would become way too long, but don't worry, next time I'll cover the continuation. Before you go, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel, because I'm going to explain every single JJK chapter. If you love JJK related content, subscribing is the best way to never miss out. Sayonara.